One of the things that I think I realized that this whole Jesus thing is real is that besides my marriage that is here only because of him, it's the longest thing I've ever done in my life. We were living in Ohio. We got married in our early 20s. I was a firefighter paramedic at that time, so I worked a lot. I really was absent a lot. My wife and I had separated for a short period of time. Self-imposed. We both agreed that that was a good thing. I came from a broken home. My mom and dad split up when I was in 3rd grade. I remember as a kid saying that that's not going to happen to me. When it started happening, it was just like, this isn't supposed to happen. I think I can remember praying to whatever that was to me at that time, but I didn't know Jesus. Maybe he knew me, but I certainly didn't know who he was. If we were going to start new, then we needed to do it in a new place. I started looking in job ads, and there was one in East Tennessee that I said, that's really what I want to do, let me apply. But I was working a lot. It was happening again, and it wasn't too long before she was about ready to walk out again, and I because she was lonely and she had no friends, a totally new place away from her family.
Hi guys. Hi. Brought our friends. That's okay. Come on in.
The reality of our. Oh really?
After the funeral director got up there and started to wrap things up,
One day, my daughter, who was in the 1st grade at that time, one of her friend's mom showed up at the door and invited her to church. She ended up going, with the kids for several weeks before I had a Sunday off to do it. And we were hearing about this guy named Jesus and how he wants us to be in his life. And I had a hard time understanding that. Why on earth would you want me in your life? I can understand me wanting you in my life, but why is it that you want me in your life? And I remember laying in bed one night praying the Lord's Prayer, because it's all I knew what to do, and just started thinking, I hope I'm good enough. I always figured I wasn't good enough. There was nothing. But then for some reason, I started thinking, I hope I'm good enough. I think those questions were not really me asking those questions. Those were questions that God was asking me. Are you good enough, Dave? Are you good enough?
What's the answer?
At that point, it was no to me until I realized that I am.
What makes you good enough?
Jesus. That's it. My identity is no longer who I was, what I did or what I didn't do, but my identity is I am a new creation in Christ. Instead of waking up every day wondering what is going to happen to me, how am I going to handle it, how am I going to pay the bills, how am I going to stay at work, into just saying, all right, Jesus, here we are, what are we going to do today? A lot of times we want people to share their testimony. We want to hear all the bad stuff. We want to hear all the stuff that you went through, the stuff that you did, the sins that you committed. And while that is an integral part of how I got to Jesus, I guess I could say I know those. I don't know them anymore. They're gone. So the only testimony that I have is Jesus. No matter what I say or do or think, I'm never going to be separated from him. So that's my testimony. And because of that, I am free in Christ.